everybody, and welcome back to another YouTube video. And in today's video we are going over my war defense and offense teams. Now this was requested by a viewer to have a look to see what I have on defense and what I use for offense. Just put it out there before we get started, this is in no way a end game meta defense or anything like that. I am a almost 10 mil player that has a war offense and raid orientated roster. So we are platinum 1. I am also in a flight deck, so if you've come here to see what the next best war defense or theory crafted teams are or anything like that, you've come to the wrong place. This video today is just to show my defense of what I have and what I've built. As I just said, I'm more war offense, which I will go through and show you all, and raid for my roster. So but we'll go through anyway, just because it was requested. So if there is anything in particular you'd like to see, whether from my roster or how I play the game or leadership or anything like that, all the way up to a different game, then please let me know in the comments down below if there is anything in particular you would like to see. But let's jump straight in. So first of all, I have my Red Skull team, as probably everybody did once. So I just have my Red Skull on my minions. I use the email on offense, so I haven't put him in there. I then have my Young Avenger team, and I've decided to put Psylocke in as the 5th for that, because she was like the next highest that I had. I then have my Kree team, so I've obviously got Minerva, who I used for Dark Dimension 2, 3, 4, so she's there. She does have the Fortifier ISO there. I do have the Healer ISO for her maxed out as well, so might need to change that, but I do run it with Captain Marvel. I did put a level 2 healer just because I thought it would be a bit annoying, but who knows. So that's what I have there, just with my 3 minions. I then have my Guardians of the Galaxy. I did originally have Gamora, but obviously I've taken Gamora out for Infinity Watch. I haven't done any ISOs on them just because I know I've got good red stars, but they're just so easily countered and squashed that there just really isn't any point in wasting those resources. I then have my Mercenary Team, and I have decided to put Shuri in there as well. I have recently started seeing some Mercenary Teams that have a couple of them as healers, and they've been really annoying to take down. I then have my Doc Ock team. Again, I haven't really invested in Sinister 6. What I am looking to do there is I am currently bringing up Electro, so I can swap her for Rhino, and then I'm going to put Rhino on my X Factor team as the 5th, because I did pull a 6th red star, so I feel like might as well make some use out of him, and I know X Factor are really good on offense. I then have my Marauders team, and because I don't have Pim Tech built, but I do have Ghost built, I've put Ghost in there as the 5th instead of Sabretooth, because he was my lowest, and just because Ghost is a real pain on defense. And then I am rocking old school Asgardians. It kind of makes sense because they are also high to keep them all together. I tried the Hela Mercs, I tried the Hela Hydra offense team, and it just didn't work for me. So that's what I have. I just run the old school because, again, I know they're easily counterable, but if it makes somebody waste their symbiotes, waste their team, and they have occasionally gotten me defense wins as well. So that's what I have for my defense. And then what we'll do, jump into the blitz screen so you can see my offense teams. As I said, I do have a slightly more offense raid orientated roster, so I'll go through and have a look. So we've got my Black Order team, which is at 548k. They sit at about 600 odd in War with Armory still up, so really good for taking out Marauders. Then I have my symbiotes. My symbiotes are my Pride and Joy, again sitting at about 700, and I usually use them to punch down on something ridiculous, like they can punch down on Heroes for Hire, or I'll punch down on Doc Ock teams, things like that. So I know people say they're wasted having them so high, but they are actually really good for punching down on teams, and I'm kind of one of those that are just sure to win. You know, if you know you're going to win, you might as well do it. I then have my X-Men team, and I am still rocking kind of old school X-Men, which I usually use on like Wave 1 Avengers for that team. And then I have this team. Now I don't really run this team kind of how it looks here, obviously, but I will save kind of Silver Surfer, Doom and Jubilee potentially for a team depending on what comes up. So they're kind of like my leftover high powered characters that I have. I then have my Infinity Watch, which I am still working on bringing these two up to match the others, and again I'll use them on Heroes for Hire. And before I had them really high, I did actually manage to punch up almost 300k into Marauder Team, and it wasn't even hard, so they're a really good team. I then have my Brotherhood Team, again use them for Pimtech teams, Wave 1 Avengers. I love using them. I do wish I could bring them higher, but that's just kind of power creep. Then I have my Shadowlands. Now I like to use my Shadowlands against Sinister Six teams as long as the Doc isn't too high. I can't get the hang of using them against Marauders. I don't really do very well. Or I'll use them against another team that's really high. I've used them on Asgards before as well, and they work really well. They can counter anything. So that's them. Again, I did want to bring them up. I might bring Moon Knight up once I get his 5th red star filled out, but that's where they are for the moment. I then have my Inhuman team. Again, I say for like Young Avengers or Red Skull teams, I'll use them. I then have my Skilletary team, which I'm absolutely loving the Skilletary team. I think it helps that my Black Widow and Yelena are pretty high, and I have done the passives on Merc Soldier as well, but I've managed to punch up about 200k into Mercs with them, and they are still quite good going in even if you have like defense down and stuff like that. So definitely really pleased and really glad I invested in those, and they have been helping me with Mercs because they are, I think, one of the things that we always end up seeing everywhere. You know, you see like a Gear 14 Taskmaster and it just scares everybody away. I then have my X-Force. Again, nothing too special here. Again, usually use them against Mercs. They can punch up reliably about 50k because I haven't really invested in them too much, but usually X23 manages to carry the team. I did want to invest more in Negasonic, but there's just absolutely no point. I then have my Kestrel Zemo team. So sometimes I'll use like Kestrel, Zemo, Doom and Silver Surfer if I want to take out the most ridiculous teams ever. Or I'll run Zemo without Kestrel. It just depends what comes up. I used to love running Zemo pre-Kestrel. I used to love running the Zemo team against Shield. Again, you could punch up like 250k into Shield team, so that was kind of really fun. I then have Power Armor. I appreciate I probably have more than 12 teams here, but again, I just like having the options. Don't really often use Power Armor very much or very often. They're just so unreliable, and they just rely on everything working in turn and in strategy, so don't really tend to use them. The same for X Factor, just because I haven't really invested in them too much just yet. I am going to be investing in the Dad Bros ready for the mutant section of the Doom Raid, but it's the last section for me, so I haven't had to worry. So I am going to be investing in them next, so I don't often tend to use them. And then my Fantastic Four team, who I actually use against She-Hulk 4 teams. Absolutely incredible counter to them. Probably, as of any team, the best thing that counters it is its own team. Really good. Even if I've had like 120, 140k Invisible Womans on defense, I've been able to get through them. And the really great thing that I find with the Fantastic Four team is that you could lose any one of the team and they still work really well. So you're not relying on anybody specifically. So I really actually enjoy using F4. Again, I did want to bring them up, but there's not much point. Supernatural, poor Supernatural. I wish they were better, but again, I don't really use them unless there's like a really low Kree team pops up. Then I might take them out for a spin, but again, they're just so squishy and so unreliable that I just don't use them. The same for aim. I like to have them on the bench. Sometimes I'll give them a show. I'm trying to build them up a little bit more ready for the gamma raids, just because I run the middle section for the gamma raids, so I've been looking at building those up a bit more. But again, unless like a really low team pops up, then I won't really use them. And then I think that's pretty much it. And then I do have like Avengers, but again, I don't really use them or anything else. And I believe that is everything else down here is just rubbish. So that is all my war teams. As I said, nothing kind of special or fancy or anything that I do, but this video was requested, so that's why I'm just putting it out for you all. If you do want to see anything particular about my roster, about my teams, about what I do, let me know in the comments down below. If you have enjoyed this video, then you can like it if you fancy it. If you want to come and ask me any questions, I stream on Twitch on Tuesdays, Fridays and Sundays. There'll be a link in the description. And that's it really. So thank you very much everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.